right, let's get down to some serious business. As you guys know, Donald Trump and Elon Musk had their interview on Twitter/X's Space, and boy, did it went viral. Elon Musk said that it amassed over 1 billion viewers. 1 billion people tuned in to listen to Donald Trump talk about the state of America, the state of this country. But if you listen to the mainstream news, if you watch the mainstream news, you would think that that conversation was just lip service. It was uneducated. It was ridiculous. According to USA Today, Trump rambles, slurs his way through Elon Musk's interview. It was an unmitigated disaster from this guy, Rex Pumpkin. Also, too, from CNN, the real news source that they are, Trump and Musk host friendly conversation on X after delays from technical difficulties. Politico, Trump's interview with Musk devolves into yet another X catastrophe. Reuters, rambling Trump-Musk interview married by tech issues. Oh, let's look at here. AP, Trump and Musk talk about assassination attempt and deportation during glitchy chat on X. The Atlantic, Elon Musk throws a Trump rally. All of these headlines do not talk about the conversation, the engaging conversation, the important topics that Donald Trump and Elon Musk talked about. If you listen to the mainstream news, they will say that it was a bunch of garbage. That's why we don't watch mainstream news. That's why you do not believe the propaganda. You believe the lie. And for people who actually are in tune and like to listen to the fact, Elon Musk posted the entire 1.5 hour conversation on his Twitter page with Donald Trump. So you guys should listen to that in its entirety instead of taking and listening to new sound bites and clips from the mainstream news propaganda. Same thing, Donald Trump posted that on his X as well. And what the mainstream media won't talk about is the fact that Donald Trump and Elon Musk talked about the illegal immigration crisis, the importance of a strong president, inflation, debt, and government spending, climate change, sustainable energy, Kamala's track record, EU, NATO, Ukraine war. They talked about excessive regulation and building the future, the dangers of political divide, summary of Trump's position, crime, and lack of respect for police sources. So they dived into issues that matter to the American people. They dived into stuff that is important that people want to hear about. They didn't talk about, we're going to protect women's reproductive rights when women can still have abortions. That rights went back to the states. Trump does not support an abortion ban. But if you listen to Kamala Harris, that's what she's going to talk about. That's all her campaign is on, is Trump supports an abortion ban and that Trump doesn't want gay people to get married. But Trump has never, ever said that he will sign an abortion ban. Trump supports abortion. Trump just mitigated that power back to the states via the Supreme Court ruling because he thinks that the federal government should not be involved in a person's personal autonomy decision with their body. It should be state by state regulated, but that's a subject for another day. Kamala Harris think that, Trump will be a disaster for gay people to get married. Gay people have always been getting married. There's no law blocking gay people to get married. But if you don't do your research, if you don't do your homework, you will believe the lies that come out the left mouth. You will believe the lies that come out of Kamala Harris' mouth when she's the one who lies consistently. Every time she takes a podium, every time she touches a microphone, all this woman does is lie. Even Elon Musk said that he'll be happy to host Kamala Harris on X Space too, leaving room for both sides to talk their points. But we all know Kamala Harris will not take that invite because she hasn't done a press conference or a sit-down one-on-one interview since she became the Democratic nominee for president. She's too busy campaigning and rallying. But Donald Trump has taken time out of his busy schedule to sit down and do interviews and go media runs and press tours. He did a live stream with Aiden Ross. He did an interview with Elon Musk. Hell, he even did an interview with CNN. So did JD Vance, did an interview with CNN. Kamala Harris is nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be heard. But all of a sudden, the media saying that now she's the favorite, beating Donald Trump in the polls to be the next president. They said the same thing in 2016, that Hillary Clinton was going to mop the floor with Donald Trump. But look what happened. He won. So do not believe what the mainstream media lies. They're doing this. They're saying this to protect Kamala Harris because she doesn't have a policy. Besides stealing Trump's policy, she doesn't have a plan of action. She doesn't have no talking points. If you take away her 2 talking points, 3, Kamala Harris' 3 talking points are attacks on Trump, abortion, and protecting LGBT rights. Gay people have been allowed to get married since for God knows how many years. Trump supports abortion. Trump just regulated that power to states. He thinks that the government should not be involved in a person's autonomy decision. And if you take away her attacks on Trump's, what most of them are false, what does her campaign stand on? She's saying that Trump is a threat to democracy. Meanwhile, she's over here trying to censor freedom of speech. She tried to censor, quote unquote, people getting on social media, talking and saying, oh, that's misinformation, classifying people's freedom of speech as misinformation if it doesn't align with her radical left views. You see how these people spin things and make you to believe that they're lies? They are the real dictatorship. Democrats equal dictatorship. And they even tried to stop this interview with Elon Musk and Trump from happening because apparently there was a DDoS attack on X. Elon Musk had to tweet that. Working on shutting it down. Worst case, we will proceed with a smaller number of live listeners and post a conversation later. And even conversation that they had later even had bigger numbers than the first one because people, again, want to tune in to hear what Donald Trump has to say because unlike Kamala Harris, he talks about real issues that people want to hear. Not just the same regurgitated bullshit all over again. Not just reading off a teleprompter. Not just lying to the American public. That's all that they have to stand for. And people will say, well, I heard, Donald Trump said that he doesn't support gay and same-sex rights. He never said that. But you want to know who does not support same-sex marriage? Who does not support gay rights? Joe Biden and the president before Donald Trump, Barack Obama. Both have been on record saying they do not support same-sex marriage. Joe Biden said that in 2008 when he was running for presidency. He said, Then Vice President Joe Biden said, no, Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil service which constitute marriage. We do not support it. Barack Obama has said this numerous times on interviews, on press conferences. He does not support same-sex marriage. Look at it right there on the screen. But until they had to change their stance because they know that was going to affect them in the poll. Donald Trump on a 60-minute interview said that he's fine with same-sex marriage. He has no problem with it. He doesn't obviously, involve in that because he's a heterosexual man. But if there's two men, two women want to get married, by all means, that's up to their prerogative. That's their life. Let them live. But if you listen to the mainstream media, if you listen to Kamala Harris, if you listen to the left Democrats, they will say, no, Donald Trump is against that and will do everything in his power to deny same-sex marriage when they're the ones who actually don't support it. But they'll use that and flip it and say, no, it's the other side that doesn't support it. Vivek Ramaswamy, I believe I say his name correctly. I apologize if I don't. Went on the Breakfast Club and even said that Donald Trump got caught major flack from the Republican side because he actually supports same-sex marriage. A lot of Republicans don't because they believe they have this Christian views. Donald Trump is not a typical Republican. He supports same-sex marriage. But he caught a lot of flack for saying that. Donald Trump only ran as a Republican, because he knew that he was not going to get the same support of votes if he ran as independent, because we all know independents never, ever have a chance at the White House during election time. Hell, look at the numbers RFK is pulling. He has no chance of hell. We all know it's a two-person race between Trump and Kamala Harris. But Donald Trump's views most likely align with the right, with the conservatives, but he doesn't believe everything that the conservatives believe. But the mainstream media will tell you this lie saying, look, Donald Trump is against this, is against that, when he's not. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. I think he's a loudmouth prick, but he gets shit done. He just wants to save the country. He sees the direction the country is going. It is going radically left. People are becoming insane, and he wants to save it and steer it right back in the middle. You may not agree with some of the things that he says, and I don't. But I agree with a lot of the things that he does. His actions speak louder than his words, and that is for a fact, whether you like it or not. And that's why I told in my last video, take your past 4 experiences, your past 4 years under this administration, under the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration, financially, mentally, physically. You take all that, all the bullshit that they have put these people in, and you take that with you, and you cast your vote November 5th. That is the most important thing. That's it. Stop watching television. Stop watching CNN. Stop watching ABC News. Stop watching MSNBC, because they always all are going to talk about Kamala Harris. She's up in the polls, but they never ever deep dive into her policies, and they're going to attack Trump any way chance that they get. People are tuning off to mainstream media. X's numbers. Elon Musk's Twitter interview with Donald Trump had more views than CNN, MSNBC, and ABC do the entire year. People are not tuning into mainstream media anymore. They're starting to wake up little by little. People are starting to wake up and realize the lies, realize the bullshit, realize the betrayal. This is what the Democrats do. This is what the left does. Anytime you ask them a specific question, hey, what are you going to do to make the economy better? The middle class is struggling. What are you going to do to reduce gas prices, to reduce rent prices, to reduce mortgage prices, to bring back jobs that were outsourced under the Democratic leadership? What are you going to do to stop all these illegal immigrants crossing the border? What are you going to do to stop the violent crimes happening on United States streets? What are you going to do? They have no answer to that question whatsoever, and they always divert back to their own talking points, which is attack on Donald Trump, abortion, and same-sex marriage, rights for LGBT. 2 out of the 3 has never been an issue under Trump. As I said again, gay people have been allowed to get married for years now. Trump supports same-sex marriage. He said that multiple times. Trump supports abortion. He said that multiple times. He just thinks that the right should be given back to the states, that the federal government should not intervene in a person's personal decision regards to their body. That's it. The left, the Democrats, unless Trump is not running for president, unless Trump is not on the opposite side of them, they have nothing to stand for. They have no merit, no policies, no laws, no plan of action. Their first thing is to attack Trump, say that he's a threat to democracy, when they are actually the true threats to democracy. They are trying to censor any type of free speech as long as it doesn't align with their beliefs, their values, or their policies. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you agree, disagree with my commentary? Leave your comments down below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.